You're paying for everyone's meal. You got that promotion, right? My sister announced at a $440 per person restaurant. I hadn't agreed to anything. Stop being difficult, Dad muttered. I smiled, excused myself to the restroom, and paid only for my wife and kids. Meals on the way out. When the server brought the remaining $6,380 bill to their table, my sister's voice cut through the restaurant like a knife. You're paying for everyone's meal. You got that promotion, right? I froze, lobster tail halfway to my mouth. Around the table sat 14 people, most of whom I'd met exactly once. My wife Jessica's hand found my knee under the table. Our daughter stopped giggling and looked at me with those wide, worried eyes kids get when adults start acting strange. I didn't agree to anything, I said quietly. Stop being difficult, Dad muttered, not looking up from his $95 Wagyu. Family helps family. That's when I realized what was happening. My sister Nicole had told everyone I'd gotten promoted to CFO. The truth? I'd been fired 3 weeks ago for refusing to sign off on fraudulent accounting. I was under SEC investigation, facing potential criminal charges, and had exactly $847 in my checking account. But Nicole didn't know that. Nobody did. I smiled, excused myself to the restroom, and pulled out my last functioning credit card with a $2,000 limit. Just 4 meals, I told the maitre d'. $1,760. The transaction barely went through. I collected Jessica and the girls and walked out. Nicole's call came 8 minutes later. What the hell, David? You just humiliated me in front of Craig's entire family. Craig, her hedge fund manager husband, who'd invited his parents, his brother's family, and his business partners to celebrate my supposed promotion. Nicole, I don't have the money you think I have. Stop being dramatic. You just got promoted to CFO. You're making at least $400,000 now. I got fired 3 weeks ago. I refused to falsify financial reports. Now I'm being investigated by the SEC. I have $847 in my account and 2 kids to feed. Silence. Then, ice cold. You showed up to Dad's birthday knowing you couldn't pay. You never asked if I'd pay. You announced it. She hung up. Dad called 20 minutes later. Son, your sister says you lost your job and embarrassed her. I lost my job because I refused to break the law, Dad. And I embarrassed her because she volunteered my money without asking. Someone's got to pay this bill. Mitchell put it on his card, but $6,380 is a lot. Mitchell, my golden child, older brother. The surgeon making $800,000 who never let anyone forget it. Not my problem, I said. Dad's voice went cold. Jessica's family has money. Maybe you should ask them. That's when I understood. This wasn't about the bill. This was about Dad realizing his middle son, the Stanford graduate, the one who was supposed to be safe, was now a potential felon. Jessica's family did have money. Her father owned a commercial real estate empire, but Dad had no right to volunteer her family's wealth any more than Nicole had to volunteer mine. No, I said simply. Jessica's money is Jessica's money. So you'll let your sister and brother cover your share out of pride? I'll let them cover the bill they assumed I'd pay without asking. He hung up without saying goodbye. That was 6 months ago. The SEC investigation concluded last week. I didn't participate in the fraud. My refusal to sign off had actually triggered the investigation that took down my former boss and 3 other executives. My lawyer says I should expect a 7-figure wrongful termination settlement. Nicole hasn't spoken to me since that night. Mitchell called once to tell me I should man up and pay my share. I asked if he'd ever considered asking how I was doing before demanding money. He had no answer. Dad sent a text 2 weeks ago. Heard about the settlement. Glad you're okay. Not, I'm sorry. Not, I was wrong. Just acknowledgement that I'm financially viable again, so maybe I'm worth talking to. Jessica and I took the girls to IHOP last Sunday. $47 total. We talked about taking a real vacation once the settlement clears. Something with a beach, where nobody expects anything from us. Do you regret walking out? Jessica asked. No, I said. I regret thinking their approval mattered. Nicole called yesterday. Left a voicemail. I heard about your settlement. We should talk. I deleted it without listening to the whole thing.